Hi Maggie, how are
Hi,
you?
Rachel. How you doing?
Good. What an exciting day to talk to you.
I know,
I
I know. Down to the wire.
kept being like, "Am I good?" But
Me
for
too. This
you,
morning, I'm like, are we still on? Are we still on?
for you though, like I didn't. I'm not gonna say grow up because I'm 31.
Okay,
But
yeah.
for a lot of my life, I watched you kind of be like this action star.
Thank
Most people in my
you.
generation knew you as this action lead, and getting to see you in things like Fear of the Night where you're carrying this movie as an action lead but it has like the fear element and the mystery to it is kind of exciting. And so for you, what was
Yeah.
the draw of getting to do a movie like this?
I think for Neil and I both, it was like we just loved this sort of female-driven thriller where females are put into a certain very vulnerable situation. And what's expected is that the men will come in and pillage and destroy as they do, and the women will cower, and it'll be a bloodbath, and then it's over. And what we loved about it too was that the element of surprise of like having this like former veteran, who's a sister of the girl who's getting married, in pocket in this house, and these men not knowing what they've come up against was really fun for us, because there's nothing better than people thinking that they're going to come in and out and thinking that they have it all figured out. We know what's going to happen. We're going to go in, we're going to terrorize these women. And the theme of that, Neil and I were just saying, like, how empowering is it for women? Because for Tess, she's like telling these women who she doesn't like, by the way, people who she didn't even care for, but because of her servicewoman background, she feels a duty towards people, and that is so cool about her, whether she approves of them or not. But we love the fact that she was just so galvanizing with these women, and it was just like, you have to do everything to survive, and to do that you have to dig deep and find this thing, because you have it. We all have it. I don't have it because I'm former military. I have it because we all have it, and if you find it, you're going to make it out of here. And she really was that person who was like, there's strength you don't even know exists, so dig deep. And I love that message for women. Like, it's just, I find it so true in so many circumstances.
Yeah, and it's so cool too because like the last movie, it was one of like the first, like when I started doing more often press junkets. It was one of the
Yeah,
first ones I ever did, and I talked to your director for the
yeah,
protege. I can talk.
yeah, yeah.
And that one I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's like a more silent, like action hero
Right,
film.
right, right.
I'm a big Michael Keaton fan too, and I'm a
Me
fan of yours,
too,
so I was
yeah.
like, this is a great movie. But this is so kind of like you can feel her trauma throughout this movie and like how
Oh,
it kind of
good,
plays into
good.
the action that she has to do in order to like save all these women.
Correct.
And when you are building that kind of character who isn't friends with any of these people, the only one
Right.
she's there with is her family. How do you, as an actor and as Maggie, kind of build
Mhm.
those relationships with the other cast when you're not supposed to get along with?
Well, that's interesting. I actually kind of kept it true to the movie. Such a great question, by the way. True to the movie, where I spent more time with my younger sister, getting to know her. And she's just so freaking adorable. Like, she's impossible not to, you just want to like hold her and squeeze her. And the party goers and my older sister, I did keep a good distance with them, obviously, because I mean, you don't have to do that, but I felt like, Tess's introverted nature was was important to that dynamic. And I think that the more, I mean, she established this very early in the movie that she does not like these people. And so she
Yeah.
stays away from them. And I felt, to me, like, not to be method, but the more that the less I knew about them and the less familiar I was with them, the more believable I could be as someone who really didn't give a shit about what happened to them, but out of a sense of duty was going to help them get out. Right.
Mhm.
So so I did that. I kind of played it kind of true to, I didn't really spend much time with anyone, if I'm being honest. I mean, the most time I spent was with my younger sister, and then my older sister establishing this more contentious dynamic, which even in the process of that was a little contentious, so
Mhm.
it was good. It all kind of played into what it was that we were creating. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is too, like it made me, maybe it's because I'm just watching the show and they are currently on a vacation, but I've been watching Vanderpump Rules and catching up. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I don't know that this character would save the women of Vanderpump. Like, and I was like
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of
yeah.
like these
Oh
situations
yes. Oh yes. And you're
while I
probably
watched it.
right.
I was like, I don't know that she would be like, you're on your own, bye. But like
Right, right, right.
with your action background, and obviously like we know you can kick ass when we're watching these things.
Yeah.
What for you is the most fun about getting to always kind of bring that to life in your work and be that action star that people know you are, while still always kind of keeping us on our toes with these new characters that you're bringing to life?
First of all, thank you. We were talking sort of today early on about the action in this movie. And one of the things, this is a true indie. It's not an
Mhm.
action movie. It's not I mean, there's action in it, but it's more circumstantial, as you
Yep.
were kind of saying before. It's less about like, it's less choreographed, and it's more like, how do I survive? Right. It's really just survival. And honestly, the push and pull within Tess doesn't want to fight. She doesn't want to do it anymore. She did it.
Mhm.
She was medically discharged. She was badly injured in the war, and she's back. But like a lot of veterans will tell you, they want to leave that behind. They don't come back. They want a peaceful life. They want to grow vegetables and do all that kind of stuff. So this is the last thing that Tess wants, even though she is skilled enough to handle it. She
Mhm.
doesn't want this. And I told Neil at the beginning, I said, the first script, she found her father's weapons cache, and there was like a gunplay and all of that with the bow, the arrows, and all that. And so I said, let's just get rid of guns. Let's just get rid of them, right? So the guys come in, they don't want to be heard, so it's arrows, and then the women can't find weapons, so they have to dig really deep, like we were talking about, like how the hell you have to feel that they are screwed at every turn. How
Mhm.
the hell are they going to get out of this, especially without a gun, a weapon, real weapon? And so it allowed us the ability to get creative with how we were able to get these women to protect themselves. And another thing, not to get too deep, but the other thing that I liked about that was I liked showing an example of women being resourceful when there was nothing else, and through any means protect yourself. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's my message. Hell yeah, that's my message. I want women to always feel empowered to protect themselves no matter what it takes, because we live in a world that's not safe. And
Mhm.
so that was kind of like one of the big reasons I took the movie, that I loved about it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for talking with
Yeah.
me today. I
Cool.
really appreciate it, and I can't wait for
Thank
people to
you.
get to see it.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad, Rachel. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great one.